Please be careful, friends out there. If you are going to be going out today or tomorrow, or you know other people who are, there are a number of credible threats out there that police forces are working right now, but there are known terror plots actually to happen on New Year's Eve. We're going to be talking about those here on the channel. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and we cover news items here on this channel that the mainstream media doesn't really want to talk about. And the biggest thing right now is France is out there saying that they have known credible, not just credible, but they known plots that are to be enacted on New Year's Eve. Now, so France is naturally on super high alert right now because they have these terror plots that they know of and they're credible, whereas the United States does not have any credible terror plots that they are aware of. So the United States has less to be concerned about, but across the United States, cities and police forces across the United States are recognizing that there's a heightened threat environment ever since October 7th, with the conflict happening over in Israel and between Israel and Hamas. There are a lot of people out there with very, very strong opinions. They've been blocking traffic in the United States. There are a lot of activists. How many of them are so concerned about this that they would not be opposed to taking people's lives? We see a lot of them with their signs and everything like that. They seem to be supporting and endorsing what the terrorists over in Hamas are doing over in Israel. So there is that. But then also we have had 3 million new people cross the border into the United States in the past year. So in the past 12 months, we've had 3 million people come across the border. Many people, record numbers coming across the border since October 7th. How many of these potentially could be from hostile nations or terrorist entities out there? We do not know. Let's go into what we do know. What we do know is that Europe is particularly at risk. They've brought in millions and millions of Muslim migrants that are spread out all over the cities. They've had 2 terror attacks already since October 7th. They've had one in Belgium and one in France. And there is a good probability that there will be several attacks attempted over the next 24 to 36 hours. Please be aware of that if you're over abroad. There's a reason why France has deployed 90,000 police onto the streets in order to try to protect French citizens. They've deployed fire brigades all over the country as well because we don't know why. But they have deployed, their fire brigades are standing by and ready to deploy in a lot of cities. And that is not usual. Also, it's saying that they are prepared for anti-riot stuff. So the fire department is gearing up for riot control. So in France, so what's up with that? We don't know. But be aware that there are things happening. Germany is also at a much higher state of alertness. Their interior minister has requested a, quote, very strong mobilization of police forces due to the Palestinian threat. We know that Germany, Spain, Austria, and other countries have also deployed police presence outside of church buildings from Christmas through the New Year. So we know that there may be specific threats against churches that they're working on out there. I don't know. But with these millions and millions of Muslims who are very strongly, they're much more strongly allied with the Muslim world than they are with the countries that they're now dwelling in. And the United States is not alone from that either. The United States has taken in many hundreds of thousands of Muslims that have come across the southern border. 3 million people have come across the border. And while the mainstream media wants you to believe that those are all people from Central America and South America, we're actually finding that the majority of them are no longer Hispanic. As they're making arrests along the border, we're seeing that these people are actually coming straight to the border police. They're making crossings in places where they know that they're actually going to encounter border police. The Border Patrol no longer protects the border, and now they are basically customer service people for those who are claiming asylum. And that is a dramatic shift out there, and that's why Border Patrol is so frustrated inside the United States. But so we've had 2 terror attacks already in Europe, and New Year's Eve is a critical moment. Has had multiple attacks in the past due to that. Lots of crowds that are gathered that are trying to celebrate. And with large crowds, it creates opportunities for terrorists to attack. Now, there have been terror arrests in Vienna, Copenhagen, Madrid, Rotterdam, and 6 German cities, some of which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pronounce properly. So 6 German cities, plus Vienna, Copenhagen, Madrid, and Rotterdam. We have 2 terror attacks that have already happened, and France is out there saying that they are aware of credible and actual plans. They say terrorists are actually planning to attack on New Year's Eve. Inside the United States, no specific threats that are known to police. That's what they're saying at least. But there is a heightened threat environment here in the U.S. Opportunities will breed people who will try to take advantage of those opportunities. And there are many people who may want to do that. Like I said, those who are already politically aligned with that philosophy, Muslim extremists as well. So hardcore leftists are definitely threats with this, but then even more so Muslim extremists within the United States, with many people coming into the U.S. unscreened. There have been dozens of terror watch list people who have been apprehended crossing the border in the south. And some of those have been released into the United States, which is just mind-bogglingly insane. We are allowing undocumented people onto planes. So without any identification, people are getting on planes. Are they on the terror watch list? We don't know, because their documentation doesn't actually prove their identity. They could have given them false names, and yet they're being allowed onto planes. We've also seen reports from you guys as well as outside that people are being allowed on planes without proper screenings. While you're being groped by the TSA in your lines, your IDs are being scrutinized, and everything you have is being sorted through. We're having people who are getting onto the planes without the same screening, without proper documentation. And, this is also just prime opportunities for people who hate us to exploit these weaknesses and these inconsistencies in our security apparatus, right? New York City is packed with people this time of year. Especially tomorrow is going to be just jam-packed. Times Square, all across New York City, there's going to be parties and people out on the streets, and it is prime time for anyone who wishes us harm. We've seen these type of attacks historically in years past. We've seen terror attacks in New York City as well as elsewhere in this time period, and for good reason. We had not too long after 9/11, we had that incident in Times Square where the vehicle was packed with explosives and such, but luckily they were incompetent when it came to what types of chemicals they need to have for some of the explosives, and it did not do anything more than smoke. And that's, praise the Lord that's what happened, that it was just a dud. But the thing is, if they had used the proper things, that could have devastated hundreds of people. Right? It could have changed the course of hundreds of people's lives. Dozens of people may have been killed in that incident, and that was a New Year's Eve type incident. So we have a lot of things that we need to be concerned about out there. If you're going to go to anywhere where there's large groups of people, be aware that there could be attacks out there. We give you warning before the one of the terror attacks that happened over in, I believe that one was the one in Belgium. We were telling you the day before, hey, be aware, there's stuff going on, and there was indeed a terror attack. And so I'm telling you again, this is what the police forces, this is what the security apparatus out there are saying. They're spying on everybody, so they should at least know what's going on, right? And how many of these people have actually been able to fly under the radar and not be picked up by the security services at this point? We don't know. We're going to find out in the next couple days. But please be one of the people that's not one of the victims in what may happen in the next day or so. All right, friends, I don't have any more information than what the security services have, but I can just put some dots together and and see the trajectory of where we are. There's a lot of people very, very upset about the Israel-Palestinian, Israel and Hamas war over there, and there are state actors who may wish to exploit this for their gain as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll let you know if anything happens, but please stay safe out there. Make sure your loved ones stay safe as well. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.